Are you thinking about buying a house? How about selling a house? I'm sure either way, you've got a lot of questions. And here to help answer some of those questions are our favorite real estate experts, the Parker Group. Rachel and Dustin Parker, welcome back to the CoastLife Couch.
Thank you.
So let's talk about the real estate market as a whole. I think it's sort of one of those big, scary concepts that you think maybe you know a lot about, but turns out not so much. It might be a little bit more complicated than you think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the last couple of years have been kind of a wild ride in real estate. Obviously, with COVID, things kind of shut down for a couple months, and then they took off like a rocket. And now we're seeing a very different market than we saw even just a year ago. And so right now, we still are low in inventory, meaning there's just not enough houses to sell. But the big difference from a year or two ago is the interest rates, which have really jumped significantly since that time.
Cool. So when you hear something like the interest rates have jumped, is that a good thing or a bad thing for buyers or sellers? Does it depend on which side you're standing on?
Yeah, it makes the market a little bit more challenging, really for both parties, because for buyers, their buying power likely has been decreased a little bit. Because with higher mortgage rates, obviously they may not be able to afford quite as much house. For sellers, that makes the buyer pool a little bit smaller because we have less buyers that are able to purchase those homes. But what we think is that most experts believe that coming in 2024, there are going to be some dips in interest rate. And a lot of people are sitting on the fence kind of thinking we're going to wait until that time before we make a move. The problem is when that happens, everybody's going to rush the market probably and do the same thing.
Yeah, so kind of what is the best move from where you guys are sitting at this time right now?
We always say that really the best time to buy a house is when it's the best time for you personally. Sometimes trying to time the market is just a losing game. Like Dustin said, there are a lot of sellers right now that they're sitting on a 3% interest rate. But at the end of the day, if your life circumstances dictate that it's the right time to make a move, maybe you've had a baby or your kids have moved out, really there are still good deals out there, and you just need to think about your own personal financial situation, sit down with a qualified lender, and make your decision based off of that. Because like Dustin said, if everybody's timing the market, then you run into a different problem when all those buyers jump back in the market and we're back in a situation where there's 10 offers on every house and you're competing against cash, or homes are selling for way over the asking price. So, it's just different markets bring different struggles and benefits.
Sure. And it's certainly the battle that I know my peers have seen. I mean, when we were in high school in 2008, and so we lived through every crash and rise and market, and now we're finally like, okay, we're ready, and the market's just not agreeing with us. But that's also where, groups like the Parker Group come in. You can guide people when it's the right time for them, even if it's not necessarily the right time for the market per se.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and there's always the right time for the person based on their circumstance. And the nice thing about real estate is, even in those crazy markets of 2007, 2008, as long as you're not planning to move quickly, real estate's always going to be an appreciating asset. And so for folks that want to invest in, there's really not a bad time to buy. And if interest rates are high now, but they come down later, you can always refinance into a lower rate in the future to save you some money on your monthly.
Yeah, and something a lot of people are talking about right now, which economists are just not predicting, is that home prices are not predicted to come back down. And so even if interest rates do come back down, I think some people think there's going to be a big crash and we'll wait until then to come in. Nobody's really predicting that in the real estate industry. And so that's probably not a bet worth waiting on right now.
Sure, no, I mean, that's a good thing to know, because I know that I have some peers too that were like, all right, we're waiting, we're ready. And then, if it's just not going to happen, then there's no point in waiting for that if you're ready to make a move.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very true. And sort of speaking of making that move, maybe now is the right time for you. You guys like to help people find their happy place.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of our motto, is we serve our community by helping others find their happy place. And I think that that's really part of our culture as a company too. We've got a lot of great people, agents and staff that work with us every day, and our mission really is that. We want to find that happy place for each individual that we serve.
Yeah. That's awesome. And we also want to help you find that happy place. And so we're going to start introducing you to a happy place of the week with the Parker Group. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, we're really excited. We've got a great one coming first, and we think people are going to be really excited about it. But every week we'll have a new happy place for people to take a look at and maybe see if it fits them or somebody they know.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe this week's happy place is the one for you. So we're going to let CoastLife's Maya Henry tell you about this week's happy place with the Parker Group.
Paige and Leah, this stunning 1.24-acre ranch home lies in the heart of Bridgeville. Built in 2008, this home is perfect for family visits. With 3 bedrooms, 4 baths, and another 2 half baths, along with a cozy fireplace. Outside the home, you'll find a private in-ground pool, enclosed porch, and a large spacious 2-car garage. And that's this week's Happy Place of the Week presented by the Parker Group.
This segment of Coast Life was brought to you by the Parker Group,